Welcome everybody to the Healthy Weight Mastery course. This is Dr. June from Pro Nutraceuticals, and in the series of videos that I'll be presenting it to you each day, you will master the art and the science of maintaining a healthy weight for the rest of your life. All right. So there are 6 videos in this course plus bonus material that will be released once the course material is finished. And this course is suitable for everybody, whether you're a beginner looking to get in shape for the very first time, or if you're somebody who's been struggling to get in shape for years, trying all different diets, millions of different products, pills, injections, whatever mainstream products that the weight loss industry has been marketing to you, and you haven't really seen good results from them, and you're yo-yoing, your weight is going up and down all the time. Well, this course will lay the foundations for all of you on what it really takes. Okay, what it really takes to be a master of your own health and be in good, healthy weight. So you might be wondering, how is this course different from all these different programs, YouTube content creators out there, or other books talking about weight loss? Well, I'm sure that you have come across many different resources out there on the internet, and information is free and accessible to everybody. I mean, if you wanted to look for certain things, you'll probably find it. So with that in mind, this course is a compilation of some of the best material and resources on sustainable weight management that I found over the years of treating patients, seeing private clients. How I envision this course to become is us fostering a community, okay? Us fostering a community of health conscious individuals and united over a common goal of maintaining a healthy weight for the rest of their lives. So this is very much community driven. And the biggest thing that I want to have every single one of you take away from this course is that there is a way for you to get in shape and maintain your weight and your health in a holistic way. All right. So if you're new to the term holistic, it refers to the interconnectedness of your mind, body, and soul. You, as a human, is not just your physical parts. You are also your mind, your mental, your emotions, as well as your soul. You are a physical, mental, and emotional components coexisting together. And so if one component, let's say a mental or your mind, is diseased, then it will quickly manifest in your physical, in your body. So that's the core philosophy that I come into this course with. And you will find that, some of the messages in this course will resonate with you strongly. Others may require you to explore further on your own. And that's exactly what I want to encourage you as well, because we are all our own healers. You are your own healer. And I say this because our body is so intelligent, it is capable of regenerating, healing, recovering, repairing. And so many times, all it really takes is awakening that capacity within you, awakening that ability for you to heal your own body, becoming your own healer. And as you continue through this process, you will find yourself getting closer and closer to achieving that optimal health that you have envisioned for many years. And interestingly enough, if you look up the word health and look at the origin of the word health, it comes from the word whole, meaning whole, the whole thing, whole organism, whole person, as well as holy, holy as in sacred. So your health is a divine concept that needs to be respected, that needs to be prioritized. So that's truly something for you to ponder, because how many of you see your health as divine, as holy? Are you willing to respect your entire humanness, not just the physical, but also the mental and spiritual aspects of you, in order to attain the health that you can secure for the rest of your life, and something that you can pass down to the future generations? So you'll find that this is far beyond just losing a couple pounds, losing a couple inches off your waist. This course is designed for you to see what health and healthy lifestyle is truly about in this day and age. So my aim for this course is to teach you how to fish and not bring you the fish. You see? So you will not be following a cookie cutter program. There is no program that I'll be presenting it to you. There is no one size fits all step-by-step solution. All right? I'm simply going to present to you the blueprint, the guidelines, and principles of healthy weight management. And the goal here is to help you become a smarter consumer and a decision maker when it comes to getting in shape. That's my job here in this course. So if you become smarter about how to get in shape successfully without starving yourself, sabotaging yourself, then I would have done my job. So this video is going to be focused on breaking the misconceptions that so many people have about health, nutrition, and weight loss in general. And real quick, there may be some materials in this course that could open your eyes to the new world. It may challenge some of the beliefs that you held previously. But I want you to have an open mind, an open heart, not being too dogmatic about how you do things, having the willingness to adapt and be flexible. I think that is going to help you tremendously, not just in your healthy weight mastery, but in life in general. You don't want to just do things one way just because you were taught this way, or just because you saw things work in a certain way. If those things are not working on your behalf, then you better unlearn those things, deprogram your mind from those preconceived notions, because that's just sabotaging whatever goals that you're looking to accomplish. So before we get into the actual topic of this video, I'm going to establish quickly a couple rules to follow for the rest of this course. So the first rule that I'll be establishing for the rest of this course is that any questions that you have while you go through the videos, drop a comment on the YouTube comment section below. At the moment, these videos will be up on YouTube. That's where you'll be watching these videos from. And yeah, commenting below on the video accomplishes two things. First is that other students watching this video might have the same question as you. So when I chime in and answer the question, other folks can also benefit, and they can also chime in and give their perspectives. So that's a way for us as a community to grow together. So, and speaking of community, that's the main goal that I want to accomplish for this course. I want to nurture a community and make sure that you as students have some structure around. Like I said, I want to give you support in terms of knowledge as well as in terms of community that all course members are welcome in. Because I mean, how difficult it is for you to be tackling this obstacle yourself, trying to manage trying to drop 20, 30, 40 pounds or however many. And it takes ridiculous amount of grit and discipline. It's a lonely road. It's a lonely road. I've also observed that there are people that are totally fine doing this by themselves. They have, incredible amount of discipline, perseverance, and dedication to improving their health. So all they really need is the solid knowledge base and the guideline that they can refer to. And for those folks, that's more than enough. But for some of you or many of you that want a specific community that you want to cheer others on or to receive help, then I do have a free Facebook group that you can join. The link will be in the description. But I will say that the Facebook group will be reserved for those who fully complete this course. Okay, because everything related to the course, I want to keep it in the YouTube video comment section. So any feedback about the videos themselves, any questions, epiphanies, doubts, concerns about the material that you have reviewed in this course, please address them in the comment section below. So the second rule that I will establish for this course is anyone being rude, mean, disrespectful to fellow students, staff, or to myself will be permanently banned. You will no longer be getting any of the course videos if you're in the middle of it. You will not be eligible for any kind of opportunities that involve our community. You will not be able to participate in those exclusive events and offers. So your hateful, disrespectful comments will be deleted. You will be permanently banned, your email address permanently banned, and you will not be able to reach out to us ever again. I take this very seriously. We only want positive and empowering behaviors, comments, and vibrations only. All right, so those are the rules. Very simple and straightforward. Just follow those two rules and let us now dive into it. I will state my disclaimer here that I am a doctor of Eastern medicine and I have been specializing in sustainable weight management for patients and my private clients since 2020. I will be making an in-depth introductory video on my background and my road to becoming a holistic doctor in the upcoming videos. I just want to make sure I get the knowledge out to you as quick as possible before I talk about myself. And many of you have found me through Instagram. I have over 100,000 followers on my page, and I have been delivering health content for the past few years. So if you came onto this course through my Instagram, I truly appreciate you, every single one of you, for your support. With that said, I'm not your primary care physician. I'm not your doctor. I make no guarantees for anyone on this course a darn ounce of fat loss, because I have no way of knowing if or how you will apply what you're learning here. I don't even know who will be watching this right now. I don't know who you are that is watching this. So this is simply a free online course that I made to share with the world. My mission is to free you and millions of other folks around the world from the weight loss industry and empower you to be the masters of your own health. And this involves becoming your own scientist. All right. This means that you experiment different methods that work the best for you based on trial and error, based on experimentation, based on observations. But a truly competent scientist operates on sound principles. Their foundation must be so solid so that based on the foundation, they know what things to experiment with. Okay, so that's, like I said, that's the main purpose of this course, to give you that foundation so that you can experiment upon the principles of healthy weight mastery. So let's finally get into the meat of this video. Like I said, I will be destroying some of the common misconceptions that people have about weight loss. And so the first misconception that we must break away from is that your ideal weight is not a number on the scale. I will repeat it again. Your ideal weight is not a number on the scale, because the numbers can be misleading. So the end of healthy weight mastery is not accomplishing a certain number that you see on the scale. It's a combination of how you look, your appearance in the mirror, as well as the feeling that you have on a day-to-day basis. So it's more subjective. So when you look yourself in the mirror, are you truly happy with the appearance? Are you satisfied with how you look? Whether it's in your favorite clothes or whether it's your body when you hop out the shower, the image of yourself, the appearance, is one of the components of your ideal weight. And that could be, 200 pounds for some people, because every body is different in terms of their bone structure, bone density, the shape. So for some folks, 200 pounds with lean muscle is something that they would love to look like, that they're truly happy with, that they feel comfortable in. That's another thing too. Do you feel comfortable in your own skin? That's also a subjective factor. The obsession with numbers, I realize it comes from mostly the health checkups where doctors measure your body mass index, or BMI. And don't get me wrong, that's an objective way to measure the level of obesity, but it doesn't take into account the weight in muscle mass. You see, the BMI just simply looks at weight as a big number, but weight is made up of your skeletal structure, like your bone mass, your muscle mass, and your fat mass, as well as water weight. So there are many different kinds of masses that make up your body weight. And so if an athlete weighs over 200 pounds but is muscular and has high metabolism, the BMI won't take that into account. It will just see the weight, 200 something pounds, as overweight, depending on the height of that athlete. So there's a limitation to an index like BMI. So that's why I stress to my patients and my clients to focus on your feeling. When you look at yourself in the mirror, are you comfortable in your own skin and you're happy with the way you look? And do you feel light? You feel agile? Do you feel flexible? Or do you feel heavy and something is weighing down on you? That's another important thing too. Do you feel light yet energized? That's another component to think about. Do you feel the vigor, the vitality? These subjective questions you ask yourself are far more important than how much you weigh on a scale. So realistically speaking, it's not about asking ourselves, oh, what's your ideal weight? What's your goal weight? It should more be about, what is your ideal physique? How do you want to look? Who do you want to look like? So let me give you a quick example. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so there must have been an error in recording this part, because this part did not get saved into the initial recording. So I will be re-recording this part here. But essentially what I wanted to show you was So I'm just going to simply type in 200 pound and muscular. So there's many examples of people that are weighing, 200 pounds or more, and they do not look obese at all or overweight. You see, because it's about the body composition, the ratio of muscle mass to fat mass. And many of you watching, of course, you don't weigh above 200 pounds, and you have no desire to weigh 200 pounds and looking muscular. But I'm just giving you an example of how numbers can be deceiving, especially when you're weighing on the scale. I mean, this is someone who's 5'11 and 200 pounds, and as a disclaimer, these are all weight and height that these folks are claiming. I have no way of verifying if they're actually true, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt that they are genuine about their weight, their height, and we can also look at women who weigh 200 pounds, but they're looking incredible, right? They look absolutely amazing in terms of their physique. I can tell that they are in the best shape of their life. And I mean, we can, lower the number a little bit, and you still see, at 170 pounds, you can still look amazing. It's all about changing the composition of your body, adding muscular frame, lean mass to your physique. So I'm telling you to prioritize your body composition over a number on the scale. Do not chase number on a scale. So prioritize your appearance and how you feel when you see yourself in front of the mirror, feeling comfortable in your skin, feeling energized, feeling light, and you're passing your regular health checkups with flying colors. Everything's in normal range. There are no diseases or health conditions that you're worried about. And that to me is what I consider to be at an ideal weight. So now it's time to break the next misconception by asking you this simple question. How does fat leave our body? In the context of weight loss or, fat metabolism, how does this fat, extra body fat, leave our body? Take a second to give it a guess. And I'm going to pull up my screen and we'll find out together. So let's type in, where does fat go when you lose weight? So fat is actually broken down into carbon dioxide and water. The carbon dioxide is exhaled through your breath, while the water is eliminated through urine, sweat, and other bodily fluids. When you consume fewer calories than you burn, your body starts using stored fat for energy, and these fats release fatty acids, which are transported to the mitochondria, which is the energy-producing organelles and cells, essentially the energy-producing factory. There, the fatty acids are oxidized, producing carbon dioxide and water. So this process is also known as lipolysis. Lipolysis. This is the breakdown of fats and other lipids by hydrolysis to release fatty acids. So this is a metabolic pathway. Go into the Wikipedia page here. It's the metabolic pathway through which lipid or fat triglycerides. Triglyceride is the molecular form of body fat in humans. It's the main constituents of body fat. So essentially, lipolysis is a process by which the building blocks of our fat cells are broken down. And lipolysis is used to mobilize stored energy during fasting or exercise, and usually occurs in fat adipocytes. Adipocytes is an academic term for fat cells. The most important regulatory hormone in lipolysis is insulin. Lipolysis can only occur when insulin action falls to low levels, as occurs during fasting, as well as other hormones that affect lipolysis. So keeping your insulin level at a healthy range, relatively low range, is essential, and the best way to make that happen is through fasting. Now, anytime you eat whatever food, it doesn't matter what it is, carbs, protein, or fat, your body does release insulin, but the amount will vary depending on how much glucose is generated or extracted from the food source. So going back to this, essentially, your fat is broken down into carbon dioxide, energy, and water. So how many of you are finding out for the first time today that when your fat gets burned, it leaves your body mostly as carbon dioxide, water, and energy? So now that we have a basic overview on lipolysis, let's look at how much carbon dioxide is produced from lipolysis. How much carbon dioxide produced from fat metabolism. So when fat is metabolized, roughly 280 grams of carbon dioxide is produced for every 100 grams of fat burned, meaning the majority of the mass lost when burning fat is exhaled as carbon dioxide through the lungs. So this is a big perspective shift for many of you. When you lose weight from fat, when your body's burning fat, most of that mass is converted into carbon dioxide and you breathe it out. You're literally breathing out the fat. It's not something that you poop it out, or of course a good amount of it leaves your body as water, but most of the mass of fat that is metabolized or burned, that comes out through your nose as carbon dioxide. And burning 100 grams of fat produces approximately 280 grams of carbon dioxide and 110 grams of water. So there is more than twice as much carbon dioxide produced compared to water for every 100 grams of fat that is burned. So that's significant. So we just learned that most of your fat leaves the body as carbon dioxide when it is metabolized or when it is burned. And the biggest factor that ensures the success of lipolysis is the regulation of insulin. And insulin, and the most successful and the most efficient way to keep your insulin level under control is through fasting or exercise. So this is telling us that, well, you don't have to follow a highly restrictive and punishing diets. And don't get me wrong, calorie deficit is still a necessary component of a successful fat loss. But moderate adjustments can make a big difference. Steady, sustainable calorie deficits over crash dieting is going to be the key. The goal here is to have your body be consistently and gradually burning fat over a long period of time. So if you can understand this energy balance, then you realize that you can still be flexible with your diet and still be successful with fat burning. You don't have to eliminate all carbs or all fats, nor do you need to live in a constant deprivation and starve yourself. A balanced approach that you stick with long term is going to be more sustainable, more likely to succeed. And that is another core philosophy of mine when it comes to healthy weight mastery. Usually the answer is somewhere in the middle. It's about striking the right balance. Speaking of which, let's dive into the next misconception that we'll be breaking in this video. And that is, well, carbs are the enemy. We should not eat that. Fat is the enemy. Let's not eat that. There's this tendency for certain experts and the diet industry to advocate for a particular diet, even though there are thousands of different diets out there. If there truly was a successful diet on weight loss for everyone, there should only be one diet. So this is what I find ironic about the diet industry. So let me actually break it down using statistics and dispel this misconception about eating only certain type of food to see success. So we're back to the screen and I'm going to type in here countries with lowest obesity rate. Okay, so I'm at this Wikipedia page that shows a list of countries by obesity rate, and we're using the data from World Health Organization, which compiled 2022 data on obesity rate, more specifically percentage of adults with obesity around the world. And so we have certain countries that have over 70% of adults who are obese. And we see that the top 5 countries, actually 4 of the 5 top countries with most amount of obese adults, they are in Pacific Islands. What we're here to look for though is the countries with least amount of obesity. So if we sort by ascending, and we're going to ignore the countries with unknown percentages. So let's just look at top 10. So Vietnam, East Timor, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Eritrea, Cambodia, Burundi, Rwanda, Japan, and Bangladesh. So it looks like the top 10 countries are located mostly in southeastern regions of Asia and Africa. And these are countries that rely on carbohydrates as a staple. For example, Vietnam or Vietnamese cuisine heavily relies on rice. Same with Madagascar, actually. You can look up the staples of all of these countries here. Ethiopia, their staples is injera, which is a fermented, spongy flatbread made of teff, which is a grain. And Madagascar, their staples is also rice. Eritrea relies on injera. Cambodia is rice. And we look at Japan, Bangladesh, they heavily rely on rice as well. Now you might be thinking, well, many of these countries here listed are, in the developing world. There's not enough food available for them. But I can tell you that countries like Japan and Vietnam, these societies are economically advanced to the point where majority of the people can afford to eat meals on a daily basis. You might be wondering, well, carbs are still bad because they spike insulin the most out of all food groups. Well, as long as your total calorie intake remains appropriate for your energy expenditure and your body's metabolic needs, you will not necessarily gain weight simply because you eat carbs. And you also need to take into consideration that in those countries where they're eating a high amount of rice, you would often find that many meals are lower in total calories compared to a typical Western diet because their portions are smaller and meals are often accompanied by a variety of vegetables and fiber-rich foods, and there may be less of a processed calorie-dense foods. Although in urban areas of these countries, the prevalence of processed, ultra-processed foods are higher. Another factor to take into consideration is, their physical activity and lifestyle. How sedentary are the people living in those countries compared to the Western world? You see, for many countries, especially in Japan, Vietnam, walking is a common mode of transportation over driving. So this higher level of activity just throughout the day can mean greater caloric expenditure. And it helps prevent obesity even with a diet relatively high in carbohydrates. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we need to take a look at this in a holistic health context. See everything as connecting together. So obesity rates are not solely driven by diet. It's also how much you move on a daily basis, your level of physical activity, as well as sleep quality, stress management, community support, access to healthcare. There are many different factors that make up the prevalence of obesity in a society. Now, if you're still concerned about the carbs spiking blood sugar levels, realize that not all carbs are equal. There are diets that include whole grain rice or other cereals, beans, vegetables that generally have a low glycemic load, that do not raise the insulin level as much as those with high glycemic load, which are foods with refined carbohydrates, sugars, pastries, for example. These can lead to larger blood sugar swings, spikes and crashes. Matter of fact, these are often, also fatty too, which makes these foods calorie dense. So yes, you can have carbohydrates. The type of carbohydrates matters, however, and you want to always opt for whole and minimally processed grains, cereals, legumes, vegetables, etc. And I'm not knocking other diets like keto diets. Sure, the keto diet is and can be beneficial for individuals, particularly those with metabolic syndrome or insulin resistance, because they really do this diet really does a good job controlling blood sugar and insulin responses, but it's not the only path to weight loss or metabolic health. That's the point that I want to bring across to you. I've seen plenty of people be successful at getting in shape, losing weight with eating carbs, as long as the total calorie and as well as the quality of nutrition are well managed. And we're talking about healthy weight mastery. So in order for us to maintain and keep up the good physique for the rest of our lives, we need to come to a point where we have a healthy relationship with food. So this point is very, very crucial, and I'll be hammering it home in upcoming videos, but having a healthy relationship with food, not seeing food as enemies, is going to be so much helpful. It's going to just help you out in this journey tremendously, because you don't have this me against food mentality that many diet programs have you adopt for some reason. Healthy weight mastery should not be a stressful process. It is very straightforward, intuitive, and simple. It should be something that your body already knows instinctively, and is something that you can follow for a long period of time. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions that I wanted to break for your own sanity. So now we'll be breaking down the final misconception, and this involves calories. So how much of the calories that you burn actually come from exercise? We'll find out right now. So for us to really find the truth about how our body burns calories, we need to be familiar with metabolism. Metabolism refers to all the chemical reactions that occur within the body to maintain life and function. It includes processes such as breaking down nutrients, producing energy, building and repairing tissues, and eliminating waste. So metabolism is not just for your weight loss. It's literally all chemical reactions that help us survive, help us function. And one thing you should know about metabolism is that all of these reactions require calories. So through the metabolic processes, your body burns calories. Real quick, let's also look at what calories actually mean. Calories definition. So calories are a unit of energy equivalent to the heat energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree. It's also a unit of energy often used to express the nutritional value of foods, equivalent to the heat energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So essentially, calorie is a heat energy. So calorie is a form of energy that gives off heat. And in terms of nutrition, in terms of food, when we're breaking down calories from the food, they generate heat. And a core component of metabolism is also releasing or expending calories from everyday cellular functions and physiological functions. So there's a reason why we say we're burning calories, because calories literally represent heat energy. So the speed at which metabolism occurs determine how many calories your body burns on a given day. So there are many different types of metabolic rates, but one particular metabolic rate that you should be familiar with is the basal metabolic rate. And this is the amount of energy your body uses while at rest to maintain basic functions like breathing and circulation. Now, why is this important? Well, take a look at what this basal metabolic rate stands in proportion to the total daily calorie expenditure. Total energy expenditure. So BMR is a significant portion of our total energy expenditure, usually making up to 70% of it. So let's say if you're burning 2,000 calories in a day, what is that? 1,400 calories. Around 1,400 calories, or actually here is approximately up to 75% of total daily expenditure in individuals with a sedentary occupation. So if you're burning 2,000 calories, up to 1,500 calories are burned by performing basic life-sustaining functions like breathing and cell maintenance. So, and we see some graphs here. So if you look at this graph here, up to 70% is BMR. NEAT here, N-E-A-T, this comes from calories that are burned by doing simple movements throughout the day, such as walking or going up the stairs. So NEAT, metabolic rate. This is a non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's the number of calories burned through daily physical activity that is not structured exercise, which can increase your metabolic rate and contribute to weight loss. So this takes up the next biggest portion. About 15% of your calories are burned through just daily movements, just like walking. So walking around, standing up, pacing around, walking to work, doing tasks around the house, such as cleaning. And TEF, this is the thermic effect of food. So this is the amount of calories that your body burns when it's digesting food. So TEF, this is the increase in metabolic rate that occurs after eating, diet-induced thermogenesis. Usually it's protein that has high thermic effect of food because it requires more energy to digest, absorb, and transport nutrients. And that takes up about 10% of your total calories burned in a given day. And literally just 5% is coming from EAT, which is exercise activity thermogenesis. That is EAT. Eat refers to the energy expenditure resulting from purposeful physical activity such as exercise, sports, or dancing. Okay, so that only takes up 5% of the total daily energy expenditure. And you can also see other graphs that show that majority of your total daily energy expenditure comes from simply your body just doing its basic functions and just daily non-purposeful activities such as walking. So this is important to consider because so many people think that, oh, diet doesn't really matter. It's about you going hard at the gym every single day, sweating, you know, going hard, intense exercise, cardio, whatever. That's going to be the most important thing for burning fat. Well, you see that that's not the case. That only takes up 10% of your total calories burned on a given day. So then you might be wondering, well, is there a way to increase the basal metabolic rate? If I'm burning maybe 60% of it, I want to burn up to 75%. How can I improve my basal metabolic rate? And this reminds me of Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, where 80% of a result comes from 20% of the work you do. So we need to be strategic about what are some of the most important things that to prioritize. And the most efficient way to do that is through strength training, through building muscle, lean mass. And so while I just told you that the exercise only takes up 10% of your total daily calorie burns, it still is worth it because increasing your muscle mass, growing your muscles are going to increase your overall basal metabolic rate because muscles burn more calories at rest compared to fat or other types of cells. So having more muscles, increasing your lean mass, improving your physique, body composition, is going to be helpful for improving your metabolic health. So this all ties into the first point that I mentioned. You know, it's not about the ideal weight, the number that you see on the scale. It's about the physique, how you look and how you feel. That's truly the goal that we all need to aspire to achieve. So this is a perfect place to end this video. We went over 4 different misconceptions that people have about weight loss that I was able to properly break down. And we're going to keep cruising along. The next video is going to be about the biggest obstacle that is holding you back in your weight loss journey. So stick around for that tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one.